All right, before we get into our Week in Geek and all the nerd news, we're going to give you a real quick, non spoiler overall thoughts on the Penguin finale. And you could expect the full review with the full crew, David, myself, and Caleb, later this week. But for now, non spoiler, Penguin finale. Caleb, what did you think of the finale? And now that the season has ended, like, do you think this puts it in like a top three comic book series of all time? So, I mean, all that stuff. What do you think?
It's hard to say it's a comic book series though, even though it technically is. Like it doesn't fall under the guidelines of normal Marvel or DC shows that we've gotten before. So it's tough. I mean, I guess Peacemaker is kind of like a subgenre of comic book series at the same time too, and I really like that show. So I think I would put it up there with the likes of Daredevil and Peacemaker.
You know what? When we were texting about that, I totally forgot about Peacemaker.
Me too.
Peacemaker's 100% a top three for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's battling against Peacemaker and Daredevil. And I would say I would honestly, I think it's top three. I think it's third place out of those three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I enjoyed the whole season. I mean, it did slow down a little bit, but it still told a good story. Told the backstory on Oz and how he got to where he was, and the finale was a ride of emotions, very anxiety-inducing. You don't know what's going to happen. You know, Oz has just been like barely getting out of things the whole season. You see if he can do it again. You know, in the last second, find some way to stay alive.
Yeah. The only thing, the later episodes of the season for me, like the writing dipped down a little bit. Like
Mm-hmm.
things happened too fast, they happened too conveniently. Whereas like the first three, four, five maybe episodes are written so well. Like the dialogue and the
Mm-hmm.
like the speeches or whatever you want to call it, all the writing was like so good. And then a couple episodes went by and it was just like, all right, this is getting just a little too convenient, a little too flashy, a little too much fun and less like development. It's just things are happening and happening. So my big thing was the finale. Is the finale going to land? And I think the finale landed. That finale was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to talk about it in spoilers, but
I know.
yeah, I'm really glad they landed there. And you know, after that finale, I am just dying to see the Batman 2 now.
Same
Dying.
here. And oh man, that little tease at the end too. Did you like that?
I did like, there's a couple good teases at the end, a couple good little
Mm-hmm.
things that we can't get into, but my
Tie, y-
God.
tying it into the DC universe without going overboard with a cameo or anything. You know.
Yeah. Like, I think they did better, way better than the MCU has been doing lately, but they
Mm-hmm.
did, like, it felt like MCU the way they did just a couple little things. That's all they needed to do to connect it to outside stuff, but I'm happy to say the finale definitely landed, and this also makes me think the Batman 2's box office is going to be massive.
Yeah.
Because
2026 is going to be crazy.
yeah, it's not. I thought it was 25, but you're right.
It was supposed to be 25.
Yeah, because the Batman had a solid box office, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it broke a billion. Maybe.
No, it looks like almost 800,000 worldwide. So people are on board now. They're on board with the Reeves universe from the Batman. People are on board with Pattinson, and I think the Batman 2 would have already been a massive box office. But then you bring in this Penguin show, and it's like rated R, so maybe some other people who are like on the fence because comic book shows are maybe not mature enough, and this Penguin show is just being fully rated R. Probably got some more people on board,
Oh, for sure.
and then you got the Batman 2. I think the Batman 2 will cross a billion. I think it'll hit a billion.
Depending if it doesn't go up against something else at the same time.
Yeah, thank God it's not going up next year. Has so many massive movies coming out. But my God, what if it goes up against Doomsday or isn't
Isn't that
Secret
that's
Wars?
2026 is Doomsday? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out in 26. But man, I think this show is going to get a lot of people on board. It is
Mm-hmm.
the Batman, so
Right.
that's going to be one to draft. That might be a first round draft pick in the old
Seriously.
2026 box office draft for Why So Sidious.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait for our spoiler full review coming out in a couple days here. Let's get into Week in Geek. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast talking about Star Wars, DC, Marvel, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, all the good stuff. And today is Week in Geek, where we cover all the recent nerd news. We have things like a Supergirl casting, got Thunderbolts and Captain America 4 trailers, also Skeleton Crew trailers, Dune Prophecy trailer. So a bunch of stuff like that coming out. Our recent episodes, if this is your first time, we just dropped. Well, we've been covering the Penguin. That's been a lot of our episodes lately, but we also have a Batman Hush comic book review coming out. We have a top 5 most wanted future Star Wars project episode that just came out. And pretty soon here, we're going to be dropping a Kraven's Last Hunt comic book review. Hopefully before the movie comes out, getting ready for Kraven. I think it's going to be one of Sony's only good movies. I'm hoping anyway. And a bunch of stuff is going to be coming out. So stay tuned for Why So Sidious. And let's get into Week in Geek. So let's start with these trailers. We got, like I said, Thunderbolts, Captain America 4, Dune Prophecy, Skeleton Crew. Let's start with Marvel's and the Thunderbolts trailer. What did you think?
I'm really excited for this movie. It might be the highest on my list now. Cap 4 looks good, but I think Thunderbolts is going to take the cake, man. Just the whole crew they put together, the cast of characters, everyone's so different. And everyone, I mean, I feel like they've done a good job of telling most of the character's story. Like John Walker, we know what he's been through. We know Red Guardian, Yelena, Bucky, Taskmaster, and Ghost, not so much. And of course, there's Bob. And of course, you know, nerds know who he is, but if you're just a novice nerd going into this movie, I feel like he's going to be a really cool character to watch evolve, where, you know, he just shows up like, whoa, it's getting a little tense in here. Like, who are you? I'm Bob. And it's like, because if you don't know who he is, you're thinking, like, this guy seems interesting. I wonder what they're going to do with him.
Right. And by the way, Novice Nerd, we have a Sentry Novice Nerd already out months ago. So if you want to get to know the Sentry, go check that episode out. Sentry is a powerhouse. He's Marvel's answer to Superman, kind of. He's got the whole Hulk thing, Jekyll and Hyde thing going on. One side of him wants to do good.
Okay.
One side of him is overtaken by something called the Void, which brings about a very dark personality. Anyway, Sentry, very exciting. And dude, you're right. All these characters already have development. They've all had a show or a movie, each and every one of them. So it's feeling like an Avengers project. I've said this before on the podcast, but I'll go over it a little bit again. This has an asterisk on the title. We haven't ever seen that. I think that's clearly the name is going to change. And I think it's for sure going to be called the Dark Avengers. The asterisk is there. Thunderbolt Ross, I think. Well, his name is Thunderbolt Ross. I'm pretty sure he'll be in the Thunderbolts, right? And Captain America comes out right before Thunderbolts.
I imagine he'll have a small role at least.
At least. It has to. It's Thunderbolt Ross. And the Red Hulk was on the Thunderbolts in the comics.
Okay.
If they are the Dark Avengers, they can't just be a bunch of spy espionage characters, right? They got Sentry. You probably needed one more powerhouse. Call that the Red Hulk. Captain America movies have always set up Avenger movies. The first Avenger led right into the Avengers. Captain America Civil War was crucial for Infinity War. Even the Comic-Con presentation for Thunderbolts, 3-4 years ago, like the Thunderbolts title was the only title that was like the screen blacked out, music came on, there was build up, boom, Thunderbolts. It's like a big event film. It has that feel. That's how they presented it. And that's what it seems like. Plus, we haven't even had a big event film in phase 4 and 5. And the big thing about this trailer, Valentina is the one who bought Stark Tower. It's like 99. We've been waiting for so long, since it was at Homecoming when they told us that the tower was purchased. She's up there. It's overlooking all of New York. It's got the bar that, like, Tony Stark talking to Loki in the Avenger movies. It had that vibe. They literally said assemble multiple times in at least the first trailer.
And
So
says it cost a fortune to buy, but the view's great from here. And it's like, it's the same windows.
That's Stark Tower. That's Avengers Tower, whatever you want to call it. I think Captain America 4 will have an end credit scene that said like she's gonna come on there and say you're my Dark Avengers,
So
and I
Cap
think
4
the
comes
time.
out first.
Yep,
Okay.
what, February?
Hmm.
Yeah, dude. I think it's definitely Dark Avengers, but the trailer was so sick. Bucky, huge standout. This dude was that scene with him riding behind them like the freaking Terminator. I
Yeah.
swear that was the Terminator. He's on his
Uh-huh.
bike. He's flipping the shotguns. That was freaking awesome. Like I don't know, all the dynamic, Yelena and Red Guardian. I think they have a really fun dynamic. John Walker, I'm really just interested to see where his story goes. They even called him the dime store Captain America. That was funny.
um, and a comedy too with Red Guardian, where it's engaging defensive measures, and like the music starts playing. Elena gets all embarrassed because it's her dad, and then later he asks Bucky, "What kind of super serum did you get?" He's like, "I don't know, Hydra." He's like, "Oh, the fancy stuff." It's like, he's gonna be so funny, David Harbour.
Right? Yeah, this looks so entertaining. It looks really good. I've been excited ever since they announced it because I really like a couple Thunderbolt comics, but this is I think it'll be special. Marvel's on the comeback, man. So let's talk Cap 4 then. What do you think of the Captain America Brave New World trailer?
I do like the plot they're teasing, but I feel like they aren't showing what's really going on. I think they're really
Right.
hiding things for this movie. You know, they keep showing like Harrison Ford and Cap or Falcon. No, he's Cap now. Sorry, but Cap meeting up, talking, and there's like this like secret society kind of that looks like they're starting this war or they're like influencing Thunderbolt Ross to like. He says he was a wartime general. Now he's a wartime president. But then you have Falcon on the other side saying like, you know, these secret threats are starting things and we need to stop them. So it looks really cool. And I think they're hiding. I think they're hiding something though.
You could be right. We haven't seen Betty Ross in the trailers yet. She's confirmed to be in the movie. We haven't seen the leader yet. He's confirmed to be in this movie. All these
Right.
Hulk characters are going to be in this movie. Like, are they hiding some like serious Hulk stuff? Are we building towards World War Hulk? I don't know. My only problem with that is Falcon, Mr. Captain America, doesn't seem to be like Hulks are on another level than a Captain America. So that's weird. Like the Hulk thing is feels a little bit like a gimmick so far to me. Until I see what they have planned, like I'm excited to see Red Hulk, but at the same time, like what is he gonna do against a Hulk? I mean, he's
Yeah.
gonna have to assemble some Avengers, like many other Captain America movies before.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, he does assemble a little bit of
Shang-Chi.
Avenger stuff going on. I
Yeah.
hope so. The actor for Shang-Chi said we're gonna see him sooner than you'd expect, but he also said that like a year ago. So it's
That
like,
was maybe
well,
when he was filming.
I got yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I don't know. I would like to see Bruce Banner in this one. I just don't know what's going on there. I don't like that he has the one weird little thing. He had a helmet. It looked like an Ant-Man helmet, Captain America.
And it's full CGI. You can tell it's 100% CGI. I
Yeah, it's
didn't like that.
nanotech.
I like the suit though.
The suit's
Better
cool.
than Falcon and Winter Soldier suit. I feel like they just like test ran that at the end of the show and everyone was like, "Oh, that sucks." And they're like, "All right, he's not wearing that again. He only wore that for a couple minutes."
You're right. I didn't like that suit in there either. It's just everyone's becoming Iron Man, dude. The Dora Milaje Iron Man,
Hmm.
Spider Man became Iron Man. Now he's got this Iron Man helmet. Like, why not at this point just attach some missiles and some weapons? Like, you're just Iron Man with wings at this point, you know?
Yeah, he needs the help though. I mean, he can't just Captain America his way around.
Yeah, is he going to get the super soldier serum, you think?
I don't think so. I feel like that's like cheating in a way. You know, like it would just be kind of a cop out for him. I feel like he needs to. But I mean, he can't be Cap. Like just like what Thunderbolt Ross told him. You're not Steve Rogers. He's like, you know what? I'm not. And I don't see him being like the leader of the Avengers. Like, do you see him like side by side with Spider-Man, like leading the maybe like a floor general where he's just like hashing out the plans, but not really in the front lines. You know, he's kind of just hanging back, making sure everything's all right.
No, I don't. I don't see him the leader of like a full on team. He worked so good as Falcon, dude. I just can't see him being like when he gets into that leadership mode, it's almost a little bit corny for me. Like when he did that in Falcon and Winter Soldier, I don't know. I'm not sold on him as Captain America. With a solo movie, I am. Like, I'm cool with him as Captain America on a
Yeah.
solo movie. But leading the Avengers, I can't picture it. Like, the way Chris Evans did it, like, I mean, he was barking orders and it kind of made sense. And you're like, I'm down. Yeah, follow those orders.
Right.
I guess that's a lot up to the writing and the
Hmm.
plot or
I
stuff,
mean,
you know.
if this movie's good, then we should be like, okay, after we watch this, yeah, he's gonna be leading the Avengers now. He's a badass. So hopefully the
Right.
movie does it.
Yeah, I'm coming across negative. I think the movie looks pretty good. I really do. It's just I think the first trailer got me more excited. This trailer just seemed like all kind of the same stuff with a couple gimmicky things, which exciting gimmicky things. Red Hulk, he looked
Hmm.
awesome. It looked really cool. And like that scene where Falcon does a flip and cuts that car in half, that was pretty
Yeah,
sick.
that was cool.
And you saw the celestial hand poking out of the ocean. Like that's really cool.
You saw Giancarlo Esposito too. Quick little scene with him.
Did we see him in the second trailer here?
Yeah, he's like if something about him not having his wings on, so he's like useless without his wings.
Interesting. I didn't remember seeing him in the trailer, but I remember they threw him in last minute. I don't know. We'll see because I feel like some of this, there's a certain percentage of this movie that's still Chapek era. You know, I
Right.
don't think they completely redid the whole thing the way they did Daredevil. Like
Hmm.
some of this might still be mediocre. I don't know. Like I really want this to be good and it looks good. I just have a little bit of reluctance.
Yeah. No, I
Anyway,
think, and it comes out 3 months before Thunderbolts, so it's gonna be a real back to back. Hopefully they set it up well and really go right into Thunderbolts.
yeah, you're right. I think that could be a really, really solid 1-2 punch there. After we already
Hmm.
had Deadpool and Wolverine, you know, to
Right.
kind of jump started the fandom. Yeah, maybe brought them back to life a little bit. But now the actual story, the actual MCU, let's get back to that and building up a big story. It's not like we're going to see Doom, or I don't think we're going to see a lot of stuff leading to Doomsday, but get the grounded stuff going, man. Let's pick that back up. It's been a long time since we've had like a core MCU movie, and now we're going to have two in a row.
So you think it's just gonna be Red Hulk, the leader, and Giancarlo Esposito as the three villains?
Yeah. I don't think they'll go more so.
You don't need more
uh,
than that.
Yeah, the only thing I'm wondering is the hero side of things. Are they going to bring more heroes into this? They almost need it if the freaking Red Hulk's after Captain America.
Hmm.
What else are you going to do besides fly away? I don't know. But I'm excited about the celestial thing. They said adamantium was going to be mined from this celestial. So that's exciting. All right, let's move on to Dune Prophecy.
Oh wait, hold on a second. Actually, Daredevil Born Again comes out in between Cap and Thunderbolts.
Interesting. That's sick.
Do you think there's any tie-in there? You think they just? I mean, there has to be a slight tie-in, right? If he's
I
in New
wouldn't put.
York,
I wouldn't.
everything's in New York.
He is in New York. I just wouldn't put money on it. But then again, this is the first time Daredevil's been in the MCU. Could you imagine if Charlie Cox has a cameo in Captain America? That would
Hmm.
blow our minds. He had a cameo in Spider Man. Why not Captain America? They're in New York, and you might as well build this. Everyone's excited about Daredevil. Throw him into Cap for a little bit. My God. But again, what are you doing against the Hulk? He was against. He did fight She Hulk. What if She Hulk shows up? My God, I don't. I don't know. I think there's a possibility there's a lot of amazing surprises, but I also think there's a possibility that it's not going to live up to the Chris Evans Captain America movies.
Hmm.
All right, let us know in the comments what you think of these Marvel trailers. And now let's move on to Dune Prophecy. So, prequel, right? This takes place.
10,000 years before, or 1,000 years before, one of the two.
Are you serious?
Hmm. So
Damn, okay.
this is the beginning of the sisterhood creating the Paul Atreides, the Kwisatz Haderach prophecy. So this is kind of them sowing the seeds in the beginning. But it looks like there's like a war on the horizon, and we have Mark Strong in it, who just played Carmine Falcone. He's in it. He looks like the main villain, maybe, or one of the villains. But I'm stoked for this show. I hope it's not too boring. You know, it looks like it could be a lot of dialogue. So hopefully this dialogue is well written because it could kind of you could lose attention.
Yeah, I feel a lot like Captain America. I'm kind of skeptical, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like with, for example, Star Wars going back for a prequel and showing how Anakin slowly becomes Darth Vader. That's exciting. Or House of the Dragon. There's so much history with all the families and the politics.
Right.
That was exciting for House of the Dragon. This doesn't really excite me. Like the idea of it. Is Dilla is
Didn't he?
Villa? Yeah, is he involved?
I don't think so. And maybe he's like a produce. They gave him a producer credit, but I don't think he's doing it. No.
Yeah, I don't know. It took me so long to like invest into the Dune movies in the first place. It took me two watches on Dune 1 to like it. I didn't even really like it that much the first time. And the star power, yeah, we got Mark Strong, but like we're missing out on Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa, Dave Batista. I mean, whatever. But like there was a lot that drawed me into the movies, star power alone.
Right.
Um, Now going back, I don't know. I don't know. That can go either way for me. It's just, like I have no reason to think it'll be bad at all. It's just
Right.
I'm not super excited about it. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to go back to the Dune universe because that is a really cool universe. I did want to learn more about, and the second movie ended, I was like, okay, give me a show or the third movie, give me more Dune now. So I'm excited to go back. It's a very interesting universe with the spice and the obviously the voice is going to be involved where they're teaching women how to use the voice and get those powers.
yeah, yeah, you nailed it. I'd lie if I say I'm not excited to go back to the Dune universe. That's for sure. And the other thing is there there's no books. This is just its own original stuff. I mean, I don't know if there's any books that go back before the original Dune, right?
There's like so many books. I don't know if there's prequels. I'm pretty sure there are prequel books.
Okay, so maybe there is some
Maybe,
source
but
material.
I feel like it's mostly original.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I don't,
Right.
that's I'm not even close to the point of not watching it, and it could very well be amazing. So we'll see how it is.
I do have a quick Denis Villeneuve quote about Dune 3. If you want to hear it. He says that his break is over and he will go back behind the camera faster than I think. The third installment of his deep immersion into Frank Herbert's Dune universe. I'm in the writing zone right now. And he said he's referring to Dune Messiah and he's careful not to call it Dune Part 3. So that's kind of the thing he's been reiterating. It's not Dune Part 3, this is Dune Messiah. So but he's in the writing zone and he's like eager to get back, which is always a great sign.
Yeah, because he said it's not gonna feel like a trilogy. It's gonna feel like its own thing.
12 years later.
Yeah, so if it's not Dune 3, that's cool. So we're gonna go back, then we're gonna go forward. We're gonna, with the Dune 1 and 2 sandwiched right in between. We'll see. We'll see. I am kind of excited. But it's just the trailers didn't do much to pull me in, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Seemed like it seemed like Dune 1 with a different set of actors.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Skeleton Crew.
Hey.
Let's talk about Skeleton Crew. This trailer, Star Wars is dying. They're bleeding. People are about to. They're back, baby. Oh man, I hope so. But the Skeleton Crew trailer for me, it looked kind of weird. It looked like parts of it looks fun. Give it some props for like this does look very unique. It looks very different. But what about this story pulls like nothing about a bunch of kids going on an adventure really like screams Star Wars to me. I don't know what it is, but it didn't feel like what I like about Star Wars. It doesn't seem like it's reaching for that at all. I want some Sith. I want some. Basically, I really just want some Sith. We have a void that needs to be filled of Sith material. This certainly is not that, but that's very specific and picky. It's just I don't know. It seems strange. I think it could be a lot of fun though, potentially.
I think strange is a good word because I think they're going for Stranger Things slash The Goonies
Yeah.
with this show. You know,
Yeah.
the IG droid was kind of cool to see. You know, that's always badass. But yeah, it looks interesting. Well, there was that leak that came out a while ago, and the leak about the Acolyte was correct that we read way in advance. So the one about this one was something about the Great Beyond, where this could have an Ahsoka tie-in for that. You know, they get lost inside the Great Beyond where Thrawn took his ship. You know, where he was hiding out. So if there's some type of Thrawn or Ahsoka tie-in, it could be cool. But I guess there's like these murderous pirates after them, which. But once again, I feel like they weren't showing a lot in the trailer. It looked like a lot of first episode stuff in the trailer. You know what I mean?
Well, talking about Thrawn and Ahsoka, that's one of the things about Star Wars. Like, we're missing out on interconnectivity. Like, it's easy to complain about too much and forcing cameos and forcing connective tissue, but at the same time, nothing about Star Wars is like building on a central focus or building off. They're all just doing their own things. The Acolyte, what like Ahsoka, like the Mandoverse has a thing going on, and that's
Yeah.
fantastic. It's just been a while, but if this doesn't connect to anything at all, then what's the purpose? Unless you have an amazing story, why are you doing a skeleton crew? Like, I would almost, now that you said it, I would really hope that maybe Thrawn's in the background somewhere, but I don't think he is. But
Right.
it's just like, why? What are we doing? What's the purpose here?
Are the kids force sensitive? Because in the previous trailer, weren't they at the Jedi Temple doing the training, or was there just a couple of them were?
Yeah,
I
wasn't
think
weren't they? Weren't they
aren't
doing
they little,
Jedi's?
are they little Jedi's? Which could, you know, Thrawn's always out there looking for force sensitive kids.
Yeah, but again, is this post Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, this is Mandoverse era. I'm pretty sure.
So that's my interconnected thing. Like, if they are a group of little Jedi kids, where the hell were they? Why, like during the Force Awakens trilogy, the Ahsoka, we're now just hearing about a group of kids. Like, what are we doing? Like, it seems like they're doing new stuff, but then in an era that we're already familiar with. But then where were these little Jedi kids this whole time, or their teachers? You know, like there were if they are being taught as Jedi, then their teachers are probably Jedi, and those teachers are veterans if they're teaching kids to be Jedi. So where were they during everything? It's like what?
Well, it says here, the series is set in an unknown part of the galaxy, which could be the
Oh.
Great Beyond, and takes place in parallel to the events of The Mandalorian and Ahsoka. So it's a same time period as that. John Watts is the director, of course, the Spider-Man trilogy, and Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are the executive producers. So I do like that. At least John and Dave are executive producers. John Watts, I do like his stuff. So, and Jude Law is a good actor. So there are some good minds behind this show. Hopefully, it's well done.
Yeah, yeah. I would need it to tie into something. Yeah, I either need it to be an amazing story, or I need it to tie into something and build on something that we know is coming, something like that. I need one of those two things to really like it.
My expectations are low, so I probably will enjoy it at least.
Yeah, no one would blame you for that. It's the 2020s Star Wars, unfortunately. But speaking of Star Wars and something that's for sure not going to be bad, we got a couple of things going on with Star Wars, so let's get into it. Let's start with Andor. We got a release date for Andor, and that's April of 2025, so, 5 months away.
Daredevil's in
And-
March.
Oh, wow. So,
Daredevil and Andor.
oh, dude, we got,
Overlapping.
oh, we're killing it. We're killing it next year early on. We got Captain America, Andor, Daredevil. Okay. 2025 is huge. We also have Fantastic Four and Superman, like the two most original comic book characters ever that are, I think, being taken care of very well by both of their creative teams. And anyway,
And Marvel's back to dropping movies every 3 months too. It's going to be a wild ride.
yeah. And I mean, by the way, Agatha, we have kind of watched it. I guess if you guys really want us to cover anything, I mean, we're not going to do a whole episode, let's be honest, but If you really need something, let us
Go
know
through
in
the
the
whole
comments.
season.
This
Yeah.
this this is something that you would need to comment for. Just look at that message link in our podcast descriptions. If you need Agatha, let us know. I watch it. It's all right. Getting off track here. So Andor, a couple of details here. So 12 episodes. I think that's a big win. I'm tired of these 8 episode things. Unless it's an hour, Penguin did 8 episodes, but they were all like an hour long. So that was fine.
Yeah.
12 episodes covering 4 years. That's unique. That's different.
Right.
Well, House of the Dragon did it, kind of, and not maybe 4 years, but they did some
They pushed
giant.
it a lot.
They did time jumps to where they had to recast for an older actor. So I don't know. I mean, obviously Andor is freaking amazing. You got the same creative team. I'm sure it's going to be good, but that seems really unique, and I'm really excited. They wouldn't do something weird like that just for fun. There's a reason behind it, so I'm excited to see what that reason is.
And it's the
I'm
final
excited.
season of the show.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's going to lead right up to Rogue One.
Okay. I thought there was more seasons. Do you think K2SO will be in here?
She's got to be, right?
She? Is it a she?
Oh, I was thinking of the ship. Sorry.
we're
No,
we're
K2.
actually we're assigning genders to droids. No,
Yeah, I think they got to be in it.
I think he's got to be in there. She. I think it's got to be in there. I'm really excited about that. So I would like to see them uncovering the construction of the Death Star. I'd love that. I love the conspiracy thing going on. Maybe it is a myth. I'd love that. Orson Krennic is coming back. That's really
Yeah.
exciting.
Always love him.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. If Skeleton Crew is bad, at least we got Andor. If Skeleton Crew is good, then Andor is gonna. We could almost next year say that Star Wars is back, baby. Because
Right? Come on,
what?
Skeleton Crew.
When's Mandalorian and Grogu coming out? That's not 25, is it?
That's actually it just wrapped filming. They're done. And
Well, it's
it
got to be
releases
25.
May 22nd, 2026.
Oh my God! You wrapped filming. You're gonna wait
A year
freaking
and a half.
18 months. Okay, well, whatever.
It's probably because Marvel got all the time slots already.
I guess, but Fantastic Four is still filming, and they're releasing their shit this summer.
Classic Marvel.
What the hell? That's why their VFX team is always so stressed out.
Right?
We're gonna wrap filming in April. We're dropping in May. Let's do this. All right. Well, I sure hope. I'm sure Andor will be good. I sure hope. I sure hope Skeleton Crew is. But let's stick with Star Wars, and we got confirmation that we could only take with a grain of salt, even if it is legitimately confirmed. We still don't know for sure if it'll come out, given that about 800 projects have been canceled after being confirmed. But we're going back to the episodic movies, and we got episode 10 through 12. And what is it, directed or written by Simon Kinberg?
I think he's writing it. Yeah, Kinberg will write the trio. He's writing and producing all 3 movies.
Okay. One good thing, one huge win in my eyes. I'm so thankful that one person is writing and hopefully directing. Like there's no way they didn't learn their lesson with the Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Return of Skywalker thing, where you just have creative minds jumping in for each movie. Like they better have a blueprint. They better have learned that lesson, and I kind of think they did. Right? Sure, goddamn hope so. Kinberg, gigantic Star Wars fan. So I think that is a win. He was also producer on Deadpool and Wolverine and Logan, 2 banger of movies. He wrote most of Rebels, which that's pretty solid, especially for.
I didn't know that.
Wrote most of Rebels, including the episode where Ahsoka and Darth Vader fight. That's huge. But yeah, from what I've seen, he's a gigantic Star Wars fan. So I kind of hope he's, more involved than just writing. But writing is a big win if, they have one single story for these 3 movies. But there's also the speculation that it's going to continue a Skywalker story. That's not confirmed. There's arguments online whether that's true or not, but I don't want him to continue a Skywalker story. Like, what is there, some lineage that we're unaware of? Another son hidden in the galaxy? Or is Rey the Skywalker we're talking about here? Like, what's. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's confusing because they're saying, because before this was reported, there was a report that the Ray movie has fired its writer Stephen Knight and will possibly be delayed. So they're on their fourth writer now, or that movie is on total, which is interesting. I didn't really like him in the first place, so I'm glad they're doing that. But if they're gonna do 10 through 12, I mean Ray has to be in it, and they're saying she could be like the Obi-Wan Kenobi of the original trilogy in this one, maybe where she's only in the first one, then maybe at the end, little lightsaber through the gut, maybe actually fatal this time. And then it sets the new heroes off on their journey for the next two movies. You could do that, but I mean, maybe they're just doing episode 10 through 12 to get the fans excited. Like, yes, we're going back to
Right.
the good old days. So we'll see.
Yeah, what you say about Rey excites me because if that's true, I would
Her
say
dying.
that no, just her being involved and her being like the Obi-Wan of the next one. Like, the only reason that excites me is because that would possibly show that there is a long-term plan with these, and it's not just being thrown together. Because the Rey movie's been talked about for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So if Simon Kinberg like knows what they got going on with that Rey movie, and then he's going to include her in this trilogy, then that seems like some kind of long-term plan. And really, that just was what it comes down to. I want Star Wars to plan things long-term. But you can't have faith in Star Wars. Who knows if this is even going to happen, dude? What is he going to drop out? Because that's what the 80% of the confirmations we've had. People just drop out. I don't know what it is. It's like Kathleen Kennedy gives them a bunch of these stupid ass notes or something, and they're just like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I came here to make my movie, and you're telling me to do this, and that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so we have the Star Wars trilogy, Mandalorian and Grogu, the new Jedi Order, which is Daisy Ridley's movie. We'll see about that. James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi. Lando was originally supposed to be a TV show. Now it's written by Donald and Stephen Glover, and it'll be a movie. We have Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie to close out the Mandoverse. There is Taika Waititi's movie, co-written by Christy Wilson Carnes. We'll see about that one. Sean Levy's Star Wars movie. There's a writer. Rogue Squadron. Previously canceled, but Patty Jenkins confirms she's still developing and working on the script. And then we have Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy, which I don't know about that, but apparently once he's done with the Knives Out films, he's going to go back to Star Wars. So we'll see about that. But there's a lot in the works. We'll see how much actually make it to our eyes.
Yeah, Ryan would do, I think, a good job if he had a whole trilogy.
Yeah.
If he's not going to go in there and just mess up someone else's plans, the same person who comes back for the movie after him.
They'll bring him
I
in
hated
for episode 11.
Right. I hated what he did with The Last Jedi, but I do think he would do good with the trilogy.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
Dude, give that guy a Thrawn origin. The way he writes Knives Out, like the whole the detective deducing, like the crime scene, that's Thrawn. He's deducing the whole galaxy that way. That would be pretty solid. Give him a Thrawn trilogy. I think a Thrawn origin movie would be good. I think that'd be good. I think it'd be appropriate. I think it'd be awesome. And you got a blueprint. You got the books.
Right.
My one last thing I'll say is with all the turmoil, with all the directors and writers and whatever, I don't think anybody in their right mind would sign on to Star Wars unless they got confirmation that they would have it their way to a certain amount. Like that they wouldn't be, I guess, bullied into doing it a certain way. Like he had to go in there being like, okay, but why did 300 writers or directors like quit after you already confirmed their movies? Like, why did all this stuff happen? Like, if I'm going to sign on, this needs to be this way and that way, so it just goes like, statistically speaking, at some point people are going to have their way and they're going to release the movie they want. Like, you can't have so many things go against them, so many people dropping out. So maybe he's the guy. Huge Star Wars fan. Let's get it going. I'm trying to be optimistic here. All right, let us know what you think in the comments. Let's have a conversation. What do you think of Star Wars? What do you think of the 10 through 12, a new trilogy coming out? What do you think of the Skeleton Crew trailer? What do you think of the Rey movie? And what do you think of Andor? All right, let's move on and let's go back to Marvel. So Elizabeth Olsen was in a Q&A with I don't know who, but that's okay. Look it up if you want. But this is a fact. She said in an interview, she was asked if there was any particular storyline that she would like to adapt into the MCU. And her quote was, quote, well, honestly, if I were to tell you exactly what I would want, I think I would maybe be spoiling something. She said Kevin Feige genuinely asks us what we want to do with the character and then he does it. And she says, so I don't know if I can share. Then she says, I just want to come back. That sounds like confirmation. That for sure sounds like confirmation that she's coming back. She said if she says it, she's going to spoil it. So yeah, she's for sure coming back.
So, spoiler alert for Agatha. She's not in it?
No, she's not in it.
What?
Yeah,
I ain't finishing it now.
she's not in it.
Come
But
on,
continuing with
really?
spoiler alerts, her son's in it.
Yeah, right. I don't really care about that, though.
And that was pretty cool. And episode, like one of the last, like the third to last episode, tied really closely into WandaVision,
Okay.
including a cool cameo that was pretty surprising. That was, that's all I'll say. That's also, non-spoiler, but just for you, because it was pretty exciting. When I saw someone pop up on screen, I was like, oh, that's cool. It's not White Vision. It's not White Vision.
Yeah, where the hell's he at?
Yeah, who fucking knows? Well, where's Baron Mordo? Where's Thanos' brother? Where's this Venom symbiote? Where's the Celestial coming back for Judgment? Where's Scorpion? Yeah, but Wanda coming back. I think we all assumed so. When she died in Multiverse of Madness, there was a flash of red light that someone edited that. Someone put that in there for a reason. If she just died, why put a red flashing light? I also think she's going to be crucial to Doomsday Secret Wars with her reality warping powers, her level of power. She had a romantic relationship with Doctor Doom in a comic called Children's Crusade, where Doctor Doom wanted her power. I think that would be very interesting to explore. Including Children's Crusade was all about Tommy and Billy finding their mother, which if you watch Agatha, there's a little bit of that going on in there. A lot that Children's Crusade comic, I think, has a lot of stuff that's going to tie into the MCU. But she has to be crucial. And who else would have the power to stop a reality warping threat like Doctor Doom and Incursions? Like Wanda's got to be involved.
Oh yeah, it has to be 616 Wanda, like we talked about. It can't be multiverse Wanda.
Yeah, for sure.
838 Wanda, maybe, but 616.
Totally agree. But that's exciting. Happy to have her back. Who knows when. Sticking with Marvel, and another quote, the Russo brothers, this comes from Variety. They were asked about what's going on with Doomsday and Secret Wars, why they would come back. And they said, this is Joe speaking, he said, why would we come back if we didn't feel like we had a story that had the possibility of being on an equal footing with Infinity War and Endgame? Unless there's a kernel there for an idea that's really explosive, why would we do it? Not a lot to dive into there, but that's just really exciting because even like right when Endgame ended and they were getting interviewed, they said like they were asked if they wanted to come back to the MCU ever, and they're like, yeah, maybe if we could do Secret Wars. Like they've been wanting to do Secret Wars ever since Endgame. So that's super exciting.
Yeah, they're perfect guys to do Avengers.
Oh, dude, 100%. I mean, they've given us the best Marvel movies: Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Endgame. Is that all they've done? But my God, that's
Civil War.
Oh, they did Civil War too. That's like if you had 4 movies you had to pick for the MCU, that's what you choose. It's like Winter Soldier ties directly into Civil War. Civil War, you can't watch Infinity War without Civil War, and then Endgame. Like that's the That's the four. Those are the four like gold standards outside of like the Guardian stuff and maybe No Way Home, Iron Man 1 also. But yeah, I'm so stoked for that. I can't wait. We'll see how that goes. Let us know what you think about upcoming Marvel stuff. Wanda coming back, the Russo brothers on Infinity War and Endgame. Comment down below. Let's talk about it. And last couple things. Let's go to DC. Supergirl has a casting, and that's Eve Ridley. She has been cast as Ruth or Ruthie in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Now, Ruthie was a character that the whole story revolved around. Supergirl finds this girl, Ruth, and Ruth is so thankful that she's found a hero that could possibly help her out with a problem, and that problem is a bounty hunter who killed her dad. Is he a bounty hunter? That dude was cast too. I think we did cover that in the last Week in Geek. What?
She's in 3 Body Problem?
Yes. Eve Ridley. But Ruth is a major character. We already know that Supergirl is going to adapt the Woman of Tomorrow comic. Very awesome comic. Very sci-fi, revenge-filled journey. Very action-packed. Very much like flying around the galaxy, seeing new species. Does have a very Star Warsy feel with all these species, and then you just attach this revenge story behind it, which is awesome. The villain Krem, who killed Ruth's dad, is a savage, and going out to kill that guy is a really fun story, especially when you go stop at a bunch of different planets, meet a bunch of species. It's an excellent comic, and I think very cinematic. I think that's going to do really well on the big screen. And Supergirl with similar powers to Superman, except that she's like the different side of the same coin, where Superman had a very nice upbringing with the parents on Earth. Was raised with morality, was raised with love and care. Supergirl knows nothing but like death and loss, and she's a very vengeful character, very violent, emotional. She's gonna get down in the ditches, and she's not afraid to kill like Superman, which is pretty cool. A Superman that kills, and she is a woman. I almost said something inappropriate there. She doesn't have a penis. But Women of Tomorrow is a movie.
Movie, cool. I'm glad it's a movie because I want that movie quality. I'm not very familiar with her at all. Besides, she was in The Flash, right, for a second. Supergirl.
Yep, that's the same girl. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
Just strange.
I'm excited. You made a good pitch for the movie, and I'm ready.
Hell yeah, I think it's gonna be good. The writer of the comic is really involved in the creation of this movie too, so that's gonna be good. It'll stay close to the source material. All right, and let's move on to our last topic. We got a Game of Thrones movie coming out. That's confirmed. And what are the details about this movie? Do you know what time, when it takes place or anything like that?
I don't think no details have been revealed yet.
No details, but Game of Thrones.
There was a George R.R. Martin. He does that Not a Blog website where he posts all his updates. He met with Macy Williams for lunch, and he said he couldn't say anything about that, but there might be something coming soon. But I feel like that's a TV show. I don't want no Macy Williams What's West of Westeros movie. Like, let's take it easy on that. Not even really excited for a show about it, but sure, go ahead. But I think if you're gonna do a movie, you gotta do Aegon's Conquest. Like, it's shorter in time. I think you could do it in 2.5 hours. I mean, it is a long. The whole Dorne part is pretty crazy, but maybe you leave Dorne out of it for the movie.
Does that come out of the Fire and Blood book?
Yeah. Right in the,
so
the first part.
Are they not gonna? Oh, so it's before House of the Dragon?
Yeah, the Fire and Blood starts with Aegon.
Aegon already on top.
No, it starts with his conquest.
House of the Dragon?
No, Fire and Blood.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So the movie would be a
The
prequel
beginning.
to House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
It could, theoretically, if that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be sick.
Him and his 2 sister wives taking over Westeros. Cool.
You have any other thoughts of what it could be if it's not that?
Maybe Robert's Rebellion. You could do a movie about that, or I mean, I I think Aegon. I mean, you could do a White Walker kind of thing, maybe an origin with them, or but still, you want something that you don't totally know what's going to happen in the end. You know, Aegon's conquest is far enough in the past where a lot of stuff happens in between that and Hot D, like 100 years basically of stuff.
What
Or
percentage of the
50 years.
book is Aegon's conquest? Like a quarter of the book or less?
I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it's pretty detailed compared to other kings.
Damn, I'm kind of sold on that idea then. That would be a
Like how
sick
Harrenhal
movie.
gets burnt down. You know, he flies over the top of Harrenhal and melts the shit out of it, kills everyone.
Yeah, and like how the Targaryens really came into power
Yeah.
before House of the Dragon. Dude, I'm kind of sold on that one. I hope it is that.
Hmm.
And you're right, it makes the most sense. Like White Walker, we already know where all that stuff goes. So
Yeah.
that would be a really fun, climactic, cinematic
With
journey
the
of
budget
conquest.
too,
Dude.
and get Henry Cavill in there as Aegon. Come on, it's already been
And
fan casted.
probably a ton of dragons.
Three.
Oh,
Only
just
three
three? Okay.
until they have kids. Then there's more.
Yeah, I'm sold. All right, I think that covers it up, yeah?
Yeah. I think so.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning into Why So Sidious a Nerd podcast. Check out, we also have a merch store link down in our description. So we got shirts and stuff. Go on there, mugs. Check it out. There's a support the show link down in the podcast descriptions as well, along with our send us a message and our merch store. But yeah, pitch in $3 a month, $10 a month, who knows? Allow us to quit our jobs, please, and do this full time. We get enough money, we'll drop a video every single day for you,
For sure.
and that would be awesome. So any support helps. We could really use some tech upgrades, my God. Or you should, just give your money to Riverside. Give your money to Riverside. Let them pick up the pace with their content because there's a couple episodes that we haven't even released thanks to the inadequacies of Riverside. So thank
They've
you,
been sent to
Riverside,
the Shadow
for.
Realm.
Yeah, they're in the Shadow Realm. Actually, you could still look at them on YouTube,
It's true. YouTube's for the J.
unedited, all that stuff. But yeah, we can't release these amazing episodes on Spotify or wherever you're listening. There's a Nerd Therapy 4, that's pretty popular. A lot of good conversation with Nerd
That was
Therapy.
fun.
And then there's a Lord of the Rings, like all of our favorite things about the trilogy. Lord of the Rings, our top 3 scenes, our top 3 characters, our top 3 maybe quotes. There's all kinds of great stuff that you can't hear on Spotify, so you better go subscribe to YouTube and check it out over there. Anyway, thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I've grown to hate hosting for some reason. it's it's like not stressful, but it's like you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta host.
Right. Yeah. You
You
gotta
have to
keep it flowing.
you have to orchestrate and shit. It's more fun to just talk. And Dave's probably the best host we got. He's really good at hosting. Yeah. All right, man. Sounds good.
Well, you can do Penguin finale like Friday or Sunday because Dave's back Thursday. I can maybe do Thursday.